Hi there, in today's video I'll be doing a video review of the SJCAM SJ4000 Plus long expected Wi-Fi action camera. My main focus in this review will be testing its performance and more importantly figuring out whether or not this camera is worth the increased price tag compared to its predecessor. After the fiasco that SJCAM had with their 5000 series, they finally decided to get back to square one and launched an improved version of their most popular action camera ever, SJ4000. SJCAM SJ4000 Plus brings new features. Most important features are video recording in full HD at 60 frames per second and also 2K resolution of videos. So basically SJ4000 Plus is a Wi-Fi action camera that can record videos, take photographs in various resolutions and sizes, and comes in 8 different colors and supports unbelievably 17 languages. With previous model being priced at $70, Plus version will certainly raise a few eyebrows with its $149 price tag. So some of the questions that I personally wanted to find out is, should people upgrade from SJ4000 to the Plus version, and more importantly, is the SJ4000 Plus worth the mid-range price tag it now has? Before we get started, if you would like to find out more about the setup and settings of this camera and what each option does, I will unfortunately not cover it in this video because it will be too lengthy and it will be repetitive since this camera has absolutely the same options as the SJ4000 version. If you'd like to read more about it, I will put the link in the description of this video, which will lead you to the full review on my website, which covers each and every option in detail, I promise. Let's now start. One of the first improved things that you'll notice in the Plus version is that it comes in a completely different package than the previous one. It seems that SJCAM borrowed the minimalistic approach in packing from Xiaomi Yi. Camera comes in a single tiny cardboard looking box, and at first glance I thought that it is impossible to pack all the gear inside. I even panicked and thought that the retailer forgot to pack everything in my box. However, once I opened the retail box, inside there are 3 different mini boxes. 2 of the mini boxes contain accessories, whereas the third one has the camera and the waterproof case inside. Packing is very good, everything is easy to pull out, and at the same time product seems to be well protected inside sturdy boxes. This is quite an improvement over the previous packaging. I know that packaging cannot justify the 100% price increase nor improve the video quality, but it does look much better than the cheap and flimsy boxes in which previous M10 and 4000 versions were packed. Once you pull out all the boxes, here's the list of everything you get. I'm very happy that the manufacturer finally ditched some useless gear that they packed in previous versions, which are ribbons and wire rope that nobody uses but they kept putting them inside. Compared to the SJ4000 version that I reviewed a while ago, the only new piece of gear is a sticker. So besides ditching useless ribbons and ropes, this time they did not include an AC power adapter as well, which is a huge minus for them because I love charging my camera via the AC, especially while I'm in a hurry. Speaking of gear, to be honest, I was slightly disappointed by the choice of the gadgets. It is standard, nothing new, nothing impressive, and also nothing bad. But all the action cameras in China have these same accessories and I got a bit bored. I expected SJCAM as a Chinese marketing leader at least to put something new and shake up the market a bit, but this time they did not do that. Do not get me wrong, gear is perfectly fine, there is nothing wrong with it, I just would like to see something new. Also, the manual is on 44 pages, multilingual, and it's pretty similar, if not the same, to the previous SJ4000. They pretty much copy-pasted huge portion of it and made a new manual. I forgot to tell you that great improvement compared to the previous version also is that now the box has the security scratch and check code, which you can enter on SJCAM website to check if your purchased product is genuine one. So all the SJ4000 Plus camera have the code on the box and you cannot get the fake one, which was a huge problem with the previous version where market was flooded with fakes. When it comes to design of the SJ4000 Plus, comparing it to the previous version, there is absolutely no difference. You can now see them side by side and you will only see that they're absolutely the same. There is no difference between them in terms of the design. Even the battery inside is the same, shutter button is on the same position, weight is pretty much similar. So these two cameras in terms of the design are the same. However, inside they have different hardware. One of the biggest improvements that this camera brings is video and its resolutions. Biggest change in recording is 2K resolution at 30 frames per second, and additionally, unlike previous model, this one allows recording at 60 frames per second in full HD 180p. In my opinion, video quality is quite good, and I like the fact that there is an option of recording at 60 frames per second. However, I haven't noticed any significant improvement of recording in 2K resolution. Colors on video are much better than the previous model and they look more natural. However, video stabilization is quite bad. I do not like how this camera stabilizes its video. Luckily, there is a new firmware that will improve stabilization slightly. So make sure if you buy this camera that you install the latest firmware always, as it brings some improvements. This footage I took is with the original firmware, and at 30 frames per second it looked quite shaky. I have no idea what happened here, but I was quite unsatisfied at first with the stabilization. So let's now take a look at the videos and hear some audio that this camera records. When it comes to video, this is great camera, really. I like the way it records and how natural it looks. But image quality, dear God, for 150 bucks, I feel that I was robbed, really, because this camera has terrible image quality for that price. I cannot understand why the manufacturer has not put Sony or some kind of better sensor. Instead, they have put the 4 megapixel sensor. The advertised resolution of images is actually 12 megapixels, which is unbelievable. They're again interpolating their resolutions. Okay, if you do not understand what I mean, this means that this sensor inside the camera can take image 4 megapixels. However, camera itself stretches out that image, and when you inspect the image, it might seem that it is in higher resolution. However, when you zoom it in, you'll see that it is quite blurry. So, last time with their 70 bucks camera, they had 3.5 megapixel sensor and 3.5 megapixel images. This time, this camera cost 150 bucks and it has 4 megapixel sensor. And I was incredibly mad when I saw this, and I still am. I cannot believe that these guys did this. They are absolutely kidding us. This is an absolute joke. If you want to have a good image, you can spend $150 on, for instance, BlackView 1, which creates 16 megapixels images and has much better hardware inside. That's it. Video is great, image sucks. You will not notice this as you preview images on YouTube, but they're absolutely terrible when you zoom them in on your PC. You will see, I'm not talking crap. These images are okay and they are better than the previous version, but for the $150 I really expected better image sensor in this, and I hope that SJCAM will improve this in future. Please note that you can download true uncompressed image samples that I took, and I will put a link to it in the description of this video, and you will see that sensor is pretty okay for videos, but for photos it's absolute trash. So if we have the price and value it offers in mind, so I'm always comparing it price versus the value. So it is better than the previous camera, but this camera costs twice as much, so just have that in mind. One thing I found quite problematic about this camera is also zero improvement or whatsoever when it comes to battery life and memory card. They again have 900 mAh battery and 32 GB memory card, whereas all of their competitors now have stronger batteries and offer at 64 GB. So this is just my impression, guys. For most of the people this will not be a huge deal, and it is good that the battery, for instance, is compatible with previous model, because if you already bought a previous model you can swap the batteries, you can use the waterproof case. All of that is great, but I just do not like that the battery has not improved at all. Since I recently upgraded to Windows 10, I tried to make SJ4000 Plus work as a Skype camera, but I had no luck with it. It might be just that it requires a firmware update, but make sure that if you're using Windows 10, this camera might not work as a web camera. Guys, this will be a very short review because I already mentioned that this camera is quite similar to the previous model, and if you would like to find out what all the buttons mean, I really wrote about it in depth on my blog, and I will put the link to it in the description. So my overall experience with SJ4000 Plus camera can be described in one word: disappointment. I will be honest and say that in my opinion this camera is not worth its price tag. It provides great videos in 2K and in full HD at 1360 frames per second, and that is its biggest advantage. Videos underwater also look quite good, and the audio underwater is decent. I have not tested it much underwater because I would have probably drowned until then, but colors on the videos and photos are quite naturally looking, though the sharpness of the images is terrible. This is where SJ4000 Plus starts to fail. Photography. Photos are simply dreadful considering the price tag of this camera. Some people will not mind the pretty bad quality of the images because they will not take as much photos, but if you're one of those guys that enjoys creating images and image resolution is important for you, just skip this camera. Do not buy it. Really, you can get much better image quality with at least $20 less when BlackView 1. Packaging of the camera is quite neat, and I really love the security checkup code that they implemented on the boxes. Huge progress on these two parts. Also, battery life could be better, and I did not understand why they did not include the AC volt charger, since most of the competitors now include AC volt charger. Design is standard, nothing new, pretty much a repack with a plus sign on it. And I will now answer two questions that I asked at the beginning of this video. Should you upgrade from SJ4000 to SJ4000 Plus? My humble opinion is no. You would not gain as much as you might think, but if you have the money you can experiment, of course, and buy this camera. And if you need 60 frames per second videos and 2K videos, this camera is great when it comes to video, but for its price it's very disappointing when it comes to photo quality. And is it worth the $150 price tag? I think that I already answered it. No way. These guys need to improve and stop taking piss out of their customers, because in my humble opinion, as a huge action camera fan, I cannot believe that they actually wanted to trick all of us like this by putting something that even some of their copycats do not use anymore. So you can also take a look at some other camera reviews that I did. I will put the link in the description. I'm very sorry that this is not as lengthy review as you might expect, guys, but there is nothing much to be said about it. So if you already bought this camera and want to share your experience with it, please leave a comment below. I would really like to hear whether or not you like it, or am I the only one that is disappointed with the SJ4000 Plus. So thank you very much for watching. For more info on this and many other action cameras, please visit my website. Bye bye and see you in the next video. Happy recording.